Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Sauce. Continuing on with NFL Week 6. Cardinals, Packers, and Green Bay. Let's go.
Welcome to The Sauce. The Sauce. Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
All right, like I said, Arizona's on the road in Lambeau for this one. Packers are now laying 5. This number was at 5, then it was at 5.5. Now it looks to be back at 5, and I actually see a couple of 4.5s popping up. So by the time you're watching this, it might be at 4.5. Total sitting at 47 or 47.5, depending on your sports book. Let's take a look at the pie charts, and according to this data, action's coming in on the Arizona side. 60% of the tickets, over 60% of the money on the Cardinals. But as I always say, take this data with a grain of salt. So let's talk about this matchup, and we'll start with the Cardinals offense. Same as last year, this is a very good rushing attack. 3rd in the NFL in yards per carry, 11th in success rate, 10th in EPA, 18th in rushing DVOA. Really seems to be getting going, too. In the last 2 games, granted, it was against Washington and San Francisco, 2 less than stellar run defenses. But, I mean, this run game looked unstoppable. 176.5 rushing yards per game, 6.2 yards per carry, a 49% success rate. They ran the ball all over Washington and San Francisco. So this Cardinals rushing attack is coming into this game on a bit of a heater. So the first question we need to ask, is Green Bay's defense capable of stopping the run? The numbers look okay on the season. 12th in yards per carry allowed, 23rd in success rate, 6th in EPA, 13th in DVOA. They were looking good there for a stretch. In weeks 3 and 4 against Tennessee and Minnesota, they allowed just 78 rushing yards per game in those two, 3.7 yards per carry, success rate below 30%. They were playing excellent defense against the run in weeks 3 and 4. Then last week happened, and the Rams did whatever they wanted on the Packers defensive front last week. 134 yards on the ground, 4.6 yards per carry, almost a 59% success rate. So the Rams had no problems at all running the ball on Green Bay last week. Now, why is that especially concerning in this game? Because the Rams run gap concept blocking schemes, 2nd most in the NFL, 2nd in frequency. That's the kind of run game the Rams are bringing. Want to know what the Cardinals do? Same thing. In fact, even more. Rams are 2nd, Cardinals are 1st in gap concept blocking scheme frequency. So we just saw the Packers defensive front get gutted by the Rams rushing attack, and now they're matched up against the Cardinals rushing attack that actually runs a similar type of blocking scheme. And you know what? And they're even better at it. So yeah, definitely don't like that matchup at all for the Packers defense. Cardinals should not have problems getting the run game going in this one. Now, what about the passing attack, though? At first glance, it looks like the pass game hasn't really been there for the Cardinals recently. If you look at numbers from their last 3 games, they're averaging just 181.3 passing yards per game, just 6.3 yards per attempt. But look at the success rate. 52.7% per dropback, which is very good. The reason for that, they're just not connecting on the big plays. Kyler Murray in the last 3 games on passes that travel 20-plus yards, just 2 of 12, 62 yards and an interception. So the deep pass just really hasn't been there. It's not that the Cardinals passing attack has been bad per se. It's just all short and intermediate passes. And you know what? They kind of just stopped trying it. In the last 2 games, just 1 of 4. Only 4 pass attempts of 20-plus yards for Kyler Murray, 34 yards. So again, it's not that the Cardinals passing attack has necessarily been bad. It's just all short and intermediate passes. And now they're matched up against Green Bay. Packers defense doesn't really allow much in terms of deep passes. Completion percentage on passes that travel 20-plus yards, just 26.1% against Green Bay. That's 6th best in the NFL. Passer rating 62 on those same deep passes. That's 7th best in the NFL. So the Packers have been very good defending the deep pass. The Cardinals haven't been connecting on many deep passes. Here's the thing, though. The Packers may have great defensive numbers against the deep pass, but they're really struggling against the short pass. Look at their pass defense numbers on the year. 18th in yards per pass attempt allowed, 30th in success rate per dropback. So yeah, they're not getting beat on the 20-yard passes, but they're allowing a shitload of 5 and 6 yards passes, which is what Kyler Murray's been doing. I mean, look at their pass defense numbers from the last 2 games against the Rams and Vikings. They're allowing over 267.5 yards per game, 7.3 yards per attempt, 66% success rate per dropback. 66%. 50% is terrible. 66.7%, meaning the quarterback's dropping back and taking 6-yard hits on you all day. So by no means is this Green Bay pass defense good or a unit I trust. Yeah, they've got some good numbers against the deep ball, and Kyler Murray hasn't been connecting on those passes, but you know what that kind of reminds me of? Baltimore, Buffalo, Sunday Night Football. Entering that game, I believe Lamar Jackson was 1 of 9 on the season on passes that travel 20-plus yards. And the Bills, I believe, were the best defense in the NFL defending passes that travel 20-plus yards. So simple logic by looking at those numbers tells you, Lamar's not going to be able to connect on any deep balls. What happened in that game? McDermott over-adjusted defensively to try to take away the short pass and take away the run game from the Ravens. Lamar ended up connecting on, I believe he connected on 3 big plays through the air in that game. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Green Bay make adjustments defensively to try to take away the run, to try to take away the short pass, and Kyler Murray's able to connect on a couple deep balls in this game. So overall, I like the matchup for this Cardinals offense. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. I think Kyler Murray's going to make some plays through the air. I think they're going to score points in this one against Green Bay. But what about the other side? Let's talk about the Cardinals defense. And I mean, looking like a crime scene here. 27th in yards per play, 32nd in success rate, 26th in EPA, 26th in DVOA. Look at their numbers against the pass. I mean, 28th in yards per pass attempt allowed, 32nd in success rate per dropback, 27th in EPA, 29th in DVOA. When we talk about the Cardinals offense, we can find positive things to say. We can be all happy-go-lucky, but when we switch over to the Cardinals defense, that's where the fun stops. This has been pretty bad. I will say, though, in terms of their run defense, it might not be as bad as we think, and hear me out. In their last 3 games, they're allowing 186 rushing yards per game, 5.4 yards per carry. That's obviously terrible, right? 40.5% success rate indicates it wasn't that bad. But more importantly, look at the teams. Detroit, Washington, San Francisco. That's 3 of the toughest rushing attacks. I mean, Washington might have the toughest rushing attack to stop in the NFL right now. Detroit always can run the ball. San Francisco, without Christian McCaffrey, okay, they're probably closer to top 10 to top 5. Are we going to crucify this Cardinals run defense by getting run on by Detroit, Washington, and San Francisco? There's a lot of defenses in the NFL. If they played those 3 teams in a row, that would have some ugly looking run defense numbers in those games. And it's not like the Green Bay rushing attack is anything spectacular. I know they have some really nice looking numbers on the year. If you isolate it to just the games where Jordan Love started, they are averaging 5.5 yards per carry, 125.7 rushing yards per game. Pretty good, right? Success rate below 40%. Who did they play? The Eagles, the Rams, Vikings, give them credit for that one. The Eagles and the Rams, 2 of the worst run defenses in the NFL. Not to mention, what kind of rushing attack do the Packers come with? Gap, concept, blocking schemes. 7th most in the NFL. Happens to be what Arizona's pretty strong at stopping. They actually really struggle with zone blocking schemes like San Francisco. So I know when you look at the numbers, you're thinking, Green Bay's going to run the ball all over Arizona. I'm not so sure about that. I think it's a buy low spot on the Cardinals run defense and a sell high spot on the Packers rushing attack. I think the Cardinals are equipped to give the Packers run game some problems. But what about Jordan Love and the Packers passing attack? And if you're betting Green Bay, this is the moment you've been waiting for. This is where we find value on the Packers. Now, obviously, their numbers on the season aren't going to tell us much. We had a couple Malik Willis games in there. They're still 5th in the NFL in yards per pass attempt, 6th in DVOA. If we isolate it to just the Jordan Love games, numbers look good. I mean, 291 passing yards per game, 7.6 yards per attempt, 48% success rate per dropback is very impressive. Pass rating down at 86.5 for those 3 games with Jordan Love. He's got 5 interceptions, probably has something to do with that, so he's definitely going to dial those back. But as a whole, the passing attack's been very effective for Green Bay when Jordan Love's been in the game. And as we already talked about, this is a Cardinals defense that is not good defending the pass. One of the worst in the NFL. We don't have to run through the numbers again. Here they are. They're bad against the pass. They also run a good amount of cover 3, 42.8% cover 3 frequency. That's 6th most in the NFL. Want to know who has excellent numbers throwing the ball in cover 3? Jordan Love. 135.3 passing yards per game against cover 3. That's most in the NFL. 10.68 yards per pass attempt against cover 3. 4th most in the NFL. So he hasn't had problems seeing cover 3. So there should definitely be plenty of opportunities for Jordan Love to make plays through the air in this game, even though I do expect the Cardinals to do a decent job against the Packers rushing attack. So where does that leave me in terms of placing a bet? I mean, I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. I like the matchup for both offenses. Jordan Love's been throwing interceptions, and I don't expect the Packers' run game to do much. I got to take the 5 points here on Arizona. I also don't hate an over if you're looking to play a total, but I bet the Cardinals. Give me Cards plus 5 in this one. If you'd like to see all the bets I have open, head over to KyleKirms.com and click on Open Bets. You'll see all mine as well as everyone on the staff here. Also, if you sign up to Sauce Network Plus, it comes with access to the Discord, and you get to participate in the weekly betting league. $150 on one of these trophies go to the winner every single week. So if you're interested, head over to the website and sign up. Let's have ourselves a good NFL Week 6 here. Please remember to bet responsibly. See you on the live show.